Nigeria Info 99.3. Welcome back to Dailies today after Sports Drive, brought to you by Daisy of the Femi and the Gang. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
I'm Jimi. Disu. Good morning, as usual.
Yeah, good morning to you. It's our last installment for the week.
My name hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed, Abby.
It hasn't changed.
Would you, by any way, do you have a middle name?
Yes, now.
So I'm waiting for it. That's
And
why.
then you ask me, what is your middle name? The question you asked me, I said, do you have a middle name? I said, yes.
So I now waited like,
Go and ask Gucci who ran away from you. But my middle name is Anyide, but I had other names. My grandmother used to call me Alade. Muslim. I come from a Muslim family, so my Muslim name is Muhammad Bashir.
Okay.
Then I had a name that when I in the Pirates Confraternity, but that's not for me to tell you.
So we're supposed to.
But it's stuck. For those who know, that name has stuck. And it was the first, somebody we would have names Sheriff 1, Sheriff 2, Sheriff 3. My own name in the confraternity was 1. And you add Capone and Red Spotted to it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. It's not easy to be a Capone. It's not easy to be Red Spotted. In fact, I think I'm the first Red Spotted, if I remember.
When is this book going to come out?
No, it will come out. It's still in my. I can't. To be honest with you, I won't be brave enough to write my history.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything, but some of the. Not that there's anything I'm ashamed of. Or there's nothing, because if I've done anything wrong, I've always admitted it. I'm very. Nobody can. Anybody wants to. I want to say kidnap. Anybody who wants to blackmail me.
Yeah.
He has this. Koto Debe Momigotila.
Okay. All right.
You know Tiwa Savage is my cousin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you know what she did when somebody tried to blackmail her.
Oh, yes.
That is stock of my background. Go buy the follow.
Oh, shit.
I can imagine Kelvin.
Yeah. Good morning to you, Lagos, once
Morning.
again. You can watch us live on Facebook and on YouTube, Nigeria Info 99.3 on the two platforms. Thank you for joining us. Let's start with the Punch, page 2. El Rufai, Wike, other nominees face Senate screening Monday.
Let me be honest with you, Sheriff. I remember with nostalgia in this instance, in the instance of cabinets, the days of the military, when you didn't have any payoff, you didn't have to do any political payoff. And I think one of the best cabinets we ever had was IBB. Gawan. In fact, in Gawan, we had what we called super pump sex. You could feel them by their name alone and presence. This one, Look at IBB. Olekoye Ransom Kuti, man sitting down quietly in his hospital in Louth. Dragged him out. Professor Wole Soyinka, Taisho Larin. The ops were right. And one day I will tell you the issue of Professor Wole Soyinka as he became head of FRSC. But what Babangida recognized was that he had a good idea when he started it with Maja Maja in Ibadan, okay, in the 70s. And Professor was assisted then by students at that time. The late Deji Shashegmo, God bless his soul. Bola Oyeledun, people like that. I remember telling you here one day that in the last convert we had, we were looking at a blueprint for something that later metamorphosized into FRSC. That's Pirates at that time. This was 1979. So he picked him. And the optics were, he did the same thing so if you look at his time, and even if you now look at Obasanjo's first year in the political dispensation, they all went out for the ops. If you remember his own cabinet, Ezekiel Sele and all these people, World Back experience. What's the name of the other woman now? Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Back to this one, the picking of ministers is the strict prerogative of the president. And he picks whom he chooses within the confines of the law, one per state. He picks whom he chooses according to how he believes they will be useful to him in achieving his mandate. So I really don't like commenting on the cabinet, principally because partially I've been slightly disappointed at how the takeoff was, and so I didn't, I don't put too much premium on other things that might follow until I see a change. But for me, the president has picked his team, and so it shall be, as long as it is within the confines of the law. If the president is comfortable to have people who have a drinking problem, if the president is happy to have religious bigots, if the president is happy to have those who, rather than being on the list, should be cooling their heels in the EFCC, that is what he wants. And the president is supreme in this matter. Neither am I looking forward to any screening exercise. Because, like I said, in our political setup today, the National Assembly is like a parastatal of the presidency. So I would rather think of things like the victory we had yesterday and wait patiently till these people, start work. And if by chance or by providence they perform, it's good for me. Because you see, there's no point, you need to, like Mrs. Oguntuyi would say, we live together. Yes. You need to pick your fights in any matter. And I'm not picking the fight here. The president can do as he wishes. For me, once he delivers, fine. If he wants to throw away the optics of picking people, like I said, almost a well-known drunk, picking a religious bigot, so be it. So be it. So it's not an issue for me. I'm not going to waste my time looking at persons. If the president also believes that people who should be in retirement and smoking their pipe, they'll be useful to him, so be it. We shall see. I think it's Akwa Ibom who call it intricady. We shall see.
Intricady.
Not
Intricady.
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 Well, do you know how to speak F?
No.
Keep quiet.
I'm trying to learn from you now.
Yeah,
Teach me now.
That's how
Intricady.
That's how the other day we were calling my name. I like to demand that tone. As my name is Jimi. I don't know what. I mean, Sheriff, second base, because you just burn yourself.
I wanted to get your thoughts on what Chief of Staff Baja said, that the president may even create new ministries.
That's what the president wants, to function. But he had better be successful. That's what, if he thinks that he will be needing more ministries. If he's putting his own political balance ahead or ahead of the national ethos, national whatever that. Remember also, though, that a minister is not just appointed they're appointed statutorily, not just to do the job, but the minister is the alter ego of the president at a lower level. But if he's ready to discount all that, people's preferences, those of us in the media, we are practical, but sometimes we also look at things doggedly without recognizing the country that we live in. We don't, in this country, we don't live by what I would call agreeable standards. We don't. Something is going wrong, you call on the governor, he doesn't answer you, you become his presidency, you become their enemy. His hatred, his this, his that. These are citizens saying this. Go to Twitter now and see what they'll be saying. He never sees anything good in. I don't care. I will say what I know, and time will vindicate me.
Okay. So the president released his first batch of names yesterday. Lagos and a couple of other states, were missing. So I want to focus on Lagos State. Why do you think Lagos could be missing? I mean, Lagos is his home state. If he knows any other states, I mean, more than anything, it should be Lagos. If he wants to pick anybody that will beat his chest and say this person will perform, it should be from Lagos. And we
Part
can't
of
find
the-
Lagos's
part of-
name
part of
or
the-
anybody from Lagos. From
Part of the controversy that I suspect might be going on is picking a bona fide Lagosian. That is going to create a problem. Do you understand? A bona fide Lagosian, and that is raging. You know, he is not a bona fide Lagosian.
the president.
Yes, it says from Oshun. So that would be a problem, and I'm sure Lagos will be the last one he will pick, and he will just pick it at the last minute and throw it in. That's why I suspect so. Not that I know anything. I don't know anything. I'm too old to be a minister. I'm not in my thinking. I would have loved ministers to be between 40 and 50 because it's a rigorous job. I can't do it. But if it, well, if I hit you now,
Like
Waluleni. Remember that inside my fist will be something.
You thank the Sarawa.
You see, already you are pointing upstairs.
See,
With what I have, you should be pointing the other way. Sheriff, you know, if you, I just yesterday I was thinking, should I just retire from this?
Why?
I mean, because you it's been years of agitation. And what makes it worse is that the people you appeal to see reason, they're depleted. People don't want to see reason anymore. Hunger has blinded them. You know, so I don't want to say anything more about ministers. Let them just have ministers and let's start and see where they all go. We know some of them that will not do any good, but good luck to Nigeria. If that's what you want to pick, so be it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's go to the Metro page. Pages 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. We've got some stories on those pages.
Let me start with this one. Robberies. Lagos CP launches Operation Flush after Punch report. That's nice. I like the response. But what is the response to the state government? One way to contain crime is to prevent it. We would rather have prevention that gives us 3 or 4 robbery attacks than non-prevention that opens, and now you start running after the other looking for ways to arrest them. He needs the buy-in of the state government. Just yesterday I told you, Eco Bridge, for example, which is a strong commute network, as at 7 o'clock is pitch dark. So and under the bridge you have people of no fixed address, not known. They're increasing in numbers. The one by Ijora, has become a village. So it's not enough for the CP to give us policemen who will now be running after them. Preventive measures. One of the things that most robbers don't like is lights. They like the crevices. You've created it for them. If from Eko Bridge all the way to Ikorodu Road is dark, I mean, of course there will be an increase in crime. It's the streets. And one thing you must give to Governor Ambode, he lit up the city. I remember very well. We want our governor to do so likewise, please. We are creating these monsters. These people that you chase all over the streets that you claim are street hawkers. I don't like street hawking. You can't even be a driver anyway in the metropolis and like street hawking because they get in the way and so on and so forth. But what have you done? You can't just kick. I always use the bad word here. But you can't just kick their backside and think that's the best way to go about it. No, you must have measures. So we call on the government to please also provide lighting and everywhere, close up some places where, from where they can spring out. So we wish the CP lock in this. Family demands justice that NDLEA men killed 2 in Lagos. I heard it was an issue of a stray bullet. Dog chases man to death in Kwara. A man identified as Mohammed Faworaja has met his untimely death in Ilorin while running away from a dog. Oh, that's so sad. Man in court for phone theft. This was also See, we have another one.
What's that? Okay, that's
Delta chief
It's
arrested for
unfortunate.
defiling teenage neighbor.
unfortunate.
CSO's lawyer tackled Lagos over street arrest. Over arrest of street hawkers. Well, so what do we have there? Court rejects Emefiele. Did you see the video of the woman who called Emefiele Obefele? You didn't see it?
No, I did not.
There was one woman, I think maybe from Washington or from somewhere. Obefele ni o. Jaro no. Okay, I thought I had yes. The obituary here for the late Oladipo Dia, who incidentally was a one-time governor of Ogun State, and in trying to to revamp everywhere, they called him Kunya. But he did well. We've had some military men that have, for example, I remember the days of one governor in Ondo, military, who decreed that all the cars and I think the houses in town must be painted once at least it must be in good condition for the environment. It was clean. You must paint your house. It was Dia that started, at least in the West, the advent of mechanic village. Where instead in Lagos here you have mechanics sprawled all over the place, and government looks so helpless. He created a place, called it Mechanics Village, and said, I don't want to see any mechanic in town. If you want to work, come and buy a subsidized plot of land. And he worked in Abeokuta. Long after him. Abeokuta is relatively clean, Okay, so from the north, the Delta chief with 4 wives arrested over rape of DSS wants to Deraba. Oh my God. Okay, so that's what we have. At least the one we can quickly. By the way, congratulations to the Falcons. Okay, and I actually enjoyed the game.
Yeah, it was fun actually.
It was fun. These
It was
kids are
fun.
good. Very
It
good.
was fun. I mean, it's not an easy thing
The
to
way I
play.
look at them, these girls can beat the Super Eagles.
Alaji.
It's not allergy. They played very well. I forgot they were women. Well, I was only scared when that one took off her jersey, Money Modano. And she was taking no money, yay. And I gripped my seat. Anyway.
Let's go to the Vanguard. Page 9 of the Vanguard. I've got 2 stories here. Court rejects DSS's fresh request to detain Emefiele for another 14 days. That's one. And I have another one, Ogun, to locate CNG fueling stations along bus routes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, this one is just to let you know that the court has rejected, and this is not unexpected, because any jurist would want the rule of law to be effected, and is not going to give them an easy passage. So he rejected it. He just rejected. And this idea of, I don't know how it works out, where you must have a man in your kitty before you can investigate. I thought it was the other way around. You'd have investigated, you have your file ready, and you pick up the man, second day or third day, you charge him to court. Now we are losing track on this Emefiele matter. We are losing track, and after a while, we're losing interest. Could this be a ploy? You need to think of that possibility. Will Emefiele ever be charged? I don't believe that is this issue of having one rifle. Because if it's an issue of having one rifle, what are the one who carried RPG and keeps boasting that he has his people to take care of the president? That in itself should have alerted the president to say, I need to distance myself from this. You are the president, he's commander-in-chief. The sanctity of this country falls in your hands. So if a man has an army with RPGs and guns and says he's doing this to protect you, you should have reined him in. I'm also surprised that his supporters, rather than face people like that, would rather face those who are criticizing him for his own betterment. I think the president should rein him in and say, look, if you want to do any nonsense, the least you can do is keep my name out of it. Then I've been highly critical of the Ogun State governor, but this time around he's showing more purpose than his colleagues and even the federal government. What is he doing? What is he doing? The story says has set fueling stations for compressed natural gas will be positioned along bus routes. He's bringing out government buses.
Mm-hmm.
He's also offered to convert free of charge.
Oh.
Buses, yes.
Ah.
I'm surprised he's talked in here. I wish I could get to talk to him.
Oh, that should have been this thing now, because the conversion is not easy. I learned the conversion is about 500K or so.
Yes, he said that the plan is to first convert the state-owned buses and then begin the conversion of all mass transit buses that are even owned by the private sector. He said, we'll be converting the buses at our expense. If you don't do that, the owners of the buses will not be able to afford the cost of the conversion. Mm-hmm. This is what is called palliative. Mm-hmm. That nonsense word. These are the things that they should be thinking of at the federal level. I'm not saying buses, but things like this. Instead of thinking you're going to be handing out money. And he says we're already thinking of how many gangs we need to have and how quickly we can complete the conversion of close to maybe 2,000 buses in the state. He also emphasized that his administration in the next 3 weeks would launch his e-mobility program, saying, alongside that, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we will be launching our e-mobility program, which is a program that aims to swap all our petrol-dependent motorcycles and tricycles with electricity-powered ones that will be powered by rechargeable batteries. In another month, you will begin to see more electricity-powered motorcycles and tricycles in our state. This way, gradually, over the next 3 to 4 months, our people can begin to enjoy being moved from one point to another at fares that were obtained before deregulation. This is the thinking government. Rhetorically, let's now see how
that's commendable. On paper.
Yes, let's see how it goes. And he also said, we have commercial buses out there that may not be so new, but are still roadworthy. We cannot just wake up one day and scrap all those buses. We must transit from those buses that are currently burning diesel and petrol to those that will be powered by electricity. So what is the plan? The plan is we convert the current ones to use gas, and we now begin to gradually phase them. As they age, we phase them out and replace them with electric-powered buses, whilst we roll out the required infrastructure that would require charging stations and uninterrupted supply. Lagos not the take class, so Ogun State have beaten us to something credible and looks sensible to me. So, please, I'm a Lagosian. Where are you from?
I'm from Quadry State.
So you can talk.
Excuse me.
I'm talking for Lagos.
Yes. I can talk for Lagos too.
Yeah, no, you can't talk for Lagos.
No, I can talk for Lagos. I was born here.
You were born here is different from this. I'm a double-barreled Lagosian.
No,
what other combination do you want to have? It's Aleko and campus area. Lagos Island. Masomo.
People can fumble, Sha.
I would tell Kabiyesi to throw you in the river. You know when Ambode was going to come.
People can fumble. We are Lagosians. We are born in Lagos. See my we.
Who are we? It's only you now. Are you too?
Well, is that not how the river say? Awala Wambe. It's just one person who say Awala.
With this cold, I have a bit of chest pain. Don't kill me. But Lagos should take the lead in this thing to be serious, because Lagos is the capital of Nigeria. Abuja is the whatever administrative capital, but Lagos is where it's happening. And believe you me, if you get it right in Lagos, it will trickle down very quickly. But I'd like to thank Governor Abiodun, for making very good attempts.
But why is it that we've not really heard much from the Lagos State Governor lately? Especially on this issue of...
Ordinarily, I would not have responded to what you said.
You had to go there.
Honestly, he blew my mind, Governor. I like thinking people.
Yeah.
At least he has a plan. It might not work as well as you'd want it, but he has a good takeoff point. And I'm sure there are other things. I know he mentioned something about paying up workers' leave allowances.
Yeah, he mentioned all of those
and
things.
get
Yeah.
some money in circulation. Look at Zulum too.
It's really commendable.
We shouldn't forget Zulum, who provided vehicles to the various farms.
Yes, yes, he did that.
And also vehicles for vehicles to take them there, and I think
He provided for security as well.
For security as well.
To and fro. The security guys will stay with the farmers.
Like I said, you didn't let me finish. You asked a question about my state.
Yes, sir.
My state.
Yes, sir.
And I said
Our
that,
state.
well,
But go on, our state.
Ordinarily,
It's our state.
ordinarily, I would not have answered it. But we are working on it.
You're working on it.
Let me go. Have we finished?
One more. We just take
Okay.
Harun Balogun's column.
Yes, I said, let's look at the human side of our lives. It's not all politics. And I'd like you to take time off to read this. Excuse me, sorry, I have a cold, but just one go. Harun Balogun, page 25 of the Vanguard. Sisters Corners is called Making Your Marriage Work. It's an Islamic-based article, but I think all of you, let me read the first paragraph and we'll go from there. It says, in Islam, marriage is a solemn contract for which the Sharia lays down rules and arrangements to guarantee stability. Islam's main focus is on building a stable marital life. It goes without saying that in Islam, it is the duty of the husband and wife to see there is a source of comfort and tranquility for each other. Than the one that, and I'm addressing it to you, Islam enjoins husbands to do with their wives with kindness, decency, and fairness. Intimacy is a mutual right for both husband and wife. This has been summed up in the Quran imperative, and it's written there. And they have rights similar to those of men over them in kindness. And therefore, the household should not deny himself to his wife, and the wife should also not deny herself to the husband. Go and find time to read this. It's not an Islamic thing, really. If you read this, you absorb it, you probably have at least you will attempt to have a better marital life.
And this is where we'll leave it this morning. You are back at 9?
No, my cold is bad. I'm not too sure.
Okay, all right. I'm hoping that you'll be back, but thank you so much for coming.
I'm saying it now.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that you.
Ordinarily, I wouldn't have answered you for asking me now when you see the state of my cold and whatever. But because I have to answer you, sharp, because the month has ended.
I'm not like that.
Sorry, sir. I was planking. the month has ended. I've been looking at my phone.
Thank you so much for coming.
Okay, thank you.
Lagos, that's our show. Let's bring you the news. After the news, we'll continue with our Open Mic Friday here on Nigeria Info 99.3.
Radio plus information, news, sports, and current affairs equal to 99.3 Nigeria Info. Your radio station.